What's up? I'm back today to talk to you about something else, but always related to mental health. So my name is Alice, and I'm gonna keep doing these videos just to kind of open a dialogue, which kind of helped last week when I did share my experience with antidepressants, and I had like a few conversations with people I didn't talk to for a while, and that really made me think, wow, this is great. This is a great way to share an experience and a great way to also like get people to open a dialogue, and that's all I wanted to do, and I'll if it works, I'll keep doing it. So this time I wanted to talk about the effect of social media on mental health. I think it's really important to talk about this, especially because social media now is a part of our daily lives, and it's been for a while. And I think that most people do not realize how much really that can affect your life. I myself work in social media, so I'm not the person who can tell you, okay, well, you should not be on social media all the time. You should not use these apps all the time, because I do. I'm absolutely addicted. I'm not able to put a limit to myself. And it's just like, I think, maybe cigarettes or something similar. So like it does give you dependence, and that's been proved, but it's also quite difficult to stop or to kind of decrease the usage, because it became such an important part of our life. It's like so integrated with the things that we do. So yeah, I've been reading a book about this called Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. I really like him. Check him out. And I haven't finished the book yet, because it takes me more or less 50 years to finish a book. It's pretty much like the length. I'm a very slow reader, but I can say that for what I read up until now, it's definitely something that I recommend. And on top of this, Reasons to Stay Alive, his previous book, was pretty interesting for people who have been affected by mental health issues. And in both books, I think he mentions social media, like how much they affect your life. Not only social media, but like new technologies in general. I mean, looking at the way we used to live, technologies moved so fast, and like things are changing at a very fast pace, but our bodies are not ready for this. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's like evolution didn't take us to the place where we can just survive with these new technologies, but at the same time our lives are conditioned by these technologies so much that for example, we might forget about the real world. We might forget about really small things, such as how important it is to get sunlight and to get into the nature and to have like a moment where you just like switch your brain off. And switching my brain off has become so much difficult for me, and this is so much in line with what doctors and therapists will tell you when you will experience depressive episodes or anxiety, is to do physical exercise. And I'm not kidding, I think it's one of the most important things. I haven't been doing anything for a while now, so I feel like I'm advocating for something that I'm not really doing, but to me the kind of escape has been running. So trying to like kind of switch your messaging apps off while you're doing something that gets you to distract yourself in a practical way. And I'm talking about sports, but it could be anything else. Something that gets your body moving is much better than anything else, I think. It does help, I think, with your serotonin levels, but I'm not sure. It's definitely something that can change your mood so much. And sometimes I know it's hard to just switch your phone off and to just like ignore notifications and stuff like that, but you have the tools to do it. There is a feature on Instagram and Facebook that allow you to see how much time you spend on the platforms. Something that I'm not really happy about is that the app doesn't really shut down when you go over a limit, because you can set up a limit, and you can decide how if you want to get like a notification when you went over, like, I don't know, an hour or two per day, and Instagram and Facebook will notify you. I have noticed that this hasn't been rolled out, like, the information in the right way. Many people don't know about this, and I was very surprised. Like, whenever Instagram or Facebook are launching a new feature, it's always the first thing you see. They're gonna make sure that you see it if it's about monetizing and buying products, for sure. When it's about like limits on the usage, not as, it's like the promotion about that is not as good, unsurprisingly, I think. But I recommend you use that and you start checking it out. I think it's in your settings and it's very easy. I put like a little screen recording to show you how to do that, and I think it might even kind of make you more aware of how much time you spend, because I don't realize that. I really don't. But again, yeah, the app won't shut down. It's still gonna be on, so you're gonna be aware just a bit more about how much time you spend on it. And besides this, yes, I think that this is definitely about how much time you spend in front of a screen in general, and how much time you spend in the open air. So just being outside and doing something different that is not watching videos or messaging or posting pictures and videos, which is what I'm doing right now. Coherent. And again, just like antidepressants, I think that social media are a tool. So I don't feel like they've been quite demonized in this book, and I agree. Some part of it is negative, some part of the change is negative, and part of the change is positive. I think that it's never been easier to get in touch with people or easier to organize an event and make sure that everybody knows very quickly, and just to manage some things that were a bit tricky before. I think it hasn't been completely useless. On one hand, I think Facebook, for example, it allows you to get in touch with people, and if you become friend with a person, you're probably gonna have information about that person that otherwise you wouldn't have had in another life, maybe like 50 years ago. For example, I don't know, your ex-classmate from third grade or whatever, you don't really need to know what they're doing right now, but somehow you now know. So maybe that's a toxic part of it. Like, all these kind of comparison that you make with yourself and someone else's lives are easier when you have more people around you to compare yourself with. But getting in touch, or maybe like having a connection with people you actually care about, who are not like really with you anymore, maybe they live in another country and stuff like that, I found it really cool, and I think I could not live without it anymore. I just like to get in touch very easily and to see what they're up to. But as I was saying, Facebook, Instagram, and all of these social media platforms are a tool again, and much of the results or the consequences of the effect of these tools on you is how you use them. I do see the evil side to it, and I do see I've mentioned before that privacy has always been an issue, and being targeted can be an issue. I don't find it as much as an issue as like the dependency on the platform themselves. I think that finding products on social media is quite helpful. Sometimes I feel like I want to be targeted. I'm like, I love these shoes. How did you know that I like them? You got my data, bitch. I also see how negative the impact on people can be, looking at the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Thank God that happened, and thank God people realized that whenever you do share information online, that's gonna stay there, and people can take it. You give up on the right of that image once you just posted it, and you have to be aware of that. And that goes along with your name, your surname, your phone number, your gender, your political views, and that's one of the things that really matter in terms of social media, because that was about that was like completely trying to like persuade people towards different type of political views, which is which is manipulating minds in order to change the world, which is pretty scary. So yes, I get how negative this can be and how scary it can be. I just want to say that for me, it's always been like a matter of being aware that it is what it is. It is a digital platform, a digital world where people are just showing a part of themselves which is not always real and is not always reflecting any value or anything important. I will recommend to anyone to take it easy. I mean, don't take anything too seriously on seriously on social media. When it comes to I see a lot of comments on different posts when it comes to particularly important themes or themes that are quite controversial. People go insane and they fight with each other, and it's just so easy to write down something on social media when you don't have to say it face to face, and half of those people are not even able to probably face an issue. And this is another negative side to it. For all those people who have never been able to talk about things, social media made that worse, made those people much worse, because they're not going to be able to, or at least they can justify the fact that they don't even need to call you. When it comes to giving some bad news or having to face an argument, breaking up on social media, on a message, on an app, isn't that fucking insane? So yeah, I think that's another really, really bad part to it, and I'm definitely guilty of it. I do want to make more phone calls rather than sending messages and talking to people and hearing their voices and stop that kind of misunderstanding that can happen all the time when we message each other. How many times did that happen to you? To me, so many. And I guess I assume this is really an issue in many people's lives when it comes to managing relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, I think social media is it's always been a hot topic since when it was there, and now it became a bit more something that people are more aware of, and I'm really happy about. And I hope that this video kind of helped figuring out that for your mental health and for things to be for you not to create any more stress, it is important to deal with things in reality and not in the digital world, and take some time off. It can be during a holiday or it can be during the week, just a couple hours will be enough to shut that down and take yourself that half an hour to move your body. That can really improve your mood so much. And it's difficult as fuck to, when you're depressed, to get out of the house. I already know it. It's insanely difficult. Get on some running shoes or whatever you are into, and motivate yourself to do that. But I promise you, the moment you do that, you're already gonna feel better about yourself because you're doing something about it. And whatever you do, whether it is yoga or anything else, turn off those notifications. You can do that. You don't have to delete the apps. If you want to delete the apps, that's absolutely fine. It's a really good solution too, but I find it very tricky. I haven't been able to do it myself, but I sometimes do switch off my notifications, whether it is on WhatsApp or Messenger or Facebook notifications and Instagram notifications. So wherever can distract you, turn that off and try to find a balance. Move. That's all I can say. It's absolutely changed my mood so quickly and many times. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, and I hope this again has been helpful. And I'd like to know, how do you approach social media and how much you use it in a day, and how much do you think it's impacting, having an impact on your mental health, and how much anxious you feel and how much depressed you feel comparing yourself to someone else's life. So let me know, and I will see you next week because I decided to do a bit more of these videos. I'm really enjoying it. Maybe the next ones can be a bit more light-hearted and a bit more funny, because this is a bit like kind of serious. And yeah, one last thing. If you're in Brighton and on the 11th of December you got nothing to do, I am playing a show at the Hope and Ruin with my band Swoon. Oh god, this sounds like a promotional message. Oh my god. If you want to buy this brand of t-shirt for a placement. Anyway, yeah, if you do want to come, it's a free show, so you're very welcome to come and celebrate Christmas with us, because I can't fucking wait for it. Yeah, and see you soon.